I've always been obsessed with politics from the time I was really young. And it started because I asked my mom what government is. And she told me it's old white men sitting in a room deciding how free you are, which is still the most succinct and accurate definition I have ever heard about what government is. And I was 11. And I remember it to this day. I remember where we were. We were in the car, what car we were driving. And my mom's a social worker. And she just sort of like rattled it off. And it fundamentally reoriented my understanding of the world, because up until that point, I'd grown up in sort of a very white, upper middle class suburb outside Columbus, Ohio. And everything I'd been taught was that we're America's the greatest and is exceptional and is the land of the free and home of the brave and everyone's welcome and treated amazingly. And all you have to do is work hard and play by the rules and you'll get to the top. And my mother, who I trusted more than I trusted any teacher I had at school, told me this contradictory reality, and it really kind of upended my worldview. And so I became obsessed. And so I was 16 and knew my mayor, my city council, and would write letters and knew all my members of Congress and would run into people at the grocery store and be like, hi, So yeah, I just became obsessed and then started working on campaigns and then eventually ended up at the White House.
How about your dad's influence? What did he give to you?
Yeah, so my dad is from Barbados, so immigrated to America in the late 70s. And to me, I grew up in a household with these two classic examples of American identities, right? My mother is kind of a daughter of the American Revolution, the descendant of someone who signed the Declaration of Independence. And my father got kicked off the island of Barbados by his grandmother because she thought he was too smart for such a small island and he had to go to America and make his way in the world. A very classic immigrant tale. And those are both stories we tell about America as what exemplifies America and the best of America, the immigrant tale and the revolutionary tale. And, I think my dad always brought a few things. One, a healthy skepticism of the role of empire, right? Barbados was a British colony up until his teenage years. And so he had a really sharp critique and lived experience about what colonial oppression actually is and looks like, as well as an ability to see the really extraordinary things about America, too. America is and has always been the best and the worst. There are things that happen here that can't happen other places. You have to acknowledge that.
That's right.
It's extraordinary. And this place can be the worst. It's just, it is both.
Right.
And it always has been. That is part of our fabric. You have the founders writing one of the most liberal documents of all time that they got from indigenous communities, to be clear, while owning other human beings. Like, that contradiction is baked into our genesis. And I think my dad helped me always see that and always keep that in contrast. And as a black man in America, living through a dark-skinned black man, like, when I went to the grocery store or the school or interacted with police with my 5'2", blonde hair, blue-eyed, conventionally beautiful white mother versus my 6'3", dark-skinned, accented black father, the world was two fundamentally different places, right? The world opened and laid itself at my feet when I was with my mother, and the world contracted and closed and protected itself from us when I was with my father. And so that understanding of how differently the world can be based on who you're with and where you are is encapsulated in is embodied by my father's identity.
Do you feel like that has inspired your life's work to make life more equal, more fair, more just? Do you feel that's the foundation of the work you do?
Yes. I mean, without a doubt, I think I can't separate those experiences, those formative experiences, from the way I approach anything, right? That fundamental understanding and kind of deep reflexive knowledge that the world is really different for certain people is an animating feature of my life and how I think about sort of everything.